What's up, you guys? Welcome to today's video. As you can tell by the title, we're gonna be talking about pen pals, pen pal scams, and a girl that I met that had a pen pal scam. And I'm just gonna break down how often I think it happens and what to look for and how to protect yourself from said scams. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jess. I'm a recovering addict who served time in prison. I will leave my entire crazy life story in the description box down below. If you want to follow me on any other social media platform, TikTok, Instagram, Patreon, it's $2. It's only ever going to be $2. All of that is linked in the description box down below as well. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it today. Pen pal scams. Let me start off by saying that if you have met somebody that you're really close to from an ad, or you've met somebody while they're in prison, you don't know them from the street, and you've been writing them and you've gotten close with them, because it happens a lot, please do not think that I'm like, they're scamming you, because that's not what I'm saying. I could seriously debate this either way because I've seen both. So let's start out with, what's a prison pen pal? How do you find a prison pen pal? Where do you go about looking for that? Well, a lot of times it's a friend of a friend. My friend Bob is in prison and he's looking for someone to just write him to keep him company. And then you write Bob and you're like, oh my God, I really like him. And you get really close to him. I've seen that happen a lot. Some inmates can take out ads. I think my friend Adam Clausen actually had ads in the paper or whatever. Go ask him. I'll leave their channel link down below. But there are plenty of ways to find a pen pal. And a lot of people are looking for pen pals for so many reasons, whether they're lonely or they just want to help an inmate, or they want to understand what an inmate goes through, or if it's a friend of a friend, or they see an ad or whatever. There's a million different ways to write an inmate, especially today with technology. So there's two main ways that you can write an inmate. You can write snail mail, which is just what we call it if it's just paper and pen, and you mail it to the facility, or you can do JPay emails in certain facilities, or you can do core links if it's federal. Those are email systems and phone systems and all of that. So there's a lot of different ways to communicate with an inmate. Also on the phone, which is extremely expensive and crazy, but that's a video for another time. A lot of different ways that you can talk to an inmate. A lot of different ways you can find an inmate to write. So let's start off with a good side of this. While in prison and jail, I have seen tons of people meet somebody in a letter, or they knew somebody, or they just got this random letter from somebody, so they started writing them, and it turned romantic, and they got super head over heels for this person. They loved talking to them. They stood in line waiting for these letters. You know, that was slowly but surely it became romantic. I've seen tons of that. I've also seen a lot of friendships, you know, develop for the first time in letters or emails. You know, some people are just so kind and they just want to help an inmate. I believe that most people are good. Most people go into those with good intentions. You have to understand though, from an inmate's point of view, their day-to-day life is about survival. That's their day-to-day life. I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, I don't have any hygiene items. I'm gonna get my period, and what if this guard doesn't give me tampons? Like, there's a million different needs of an inmate because you are given a bed, you're given clothes, and you're given the tiniest amount of food every single day. It doesn't matter if you eat all your trays, eat 3 trays a day, you're still so freaking hungry because they feed you like the bare minimum. And a lot of the stuff is completely inedible. There's some stuff that I couldn't even smell it because I would throw up. McPherson Prison had mackerel. Oh, I can smell it every time I think about it. Like, relation memory is so strong. Thank you, hippocampus. But they'd serve it with apple crisp, okay? This is taking a turn. I know we're supposed to be talking about pen pals, but listen to this. So they would serve you mackerel, which is like a fish, but it came out of a can, and they'd serve it with apple crisp. Well, everyone wanted the apple crisp because apparently it is great. However, I just went hungry that night. Every time they served mackerel, I couldn't even bring myself to go to the freaking chow hall because it smelled so bad. I swear it got in my pores. And you'd try to eat this and it had like fibers or like hairs, okay? And it would pull apart and it was so gross. So I couldn't get over eating the apple crisp because the smell of the mackerel was so bad. And it came in like this hockey puck, like Jack Mac is whack, okay? I said what I said. Anyway, that is our daily life. It's about survival. You know, maybe we just really want a book or a magazine subscription, or we really just want someone to talk to, or we need something, you know? So I believe that most people have good intentions. And if you have a pen pal and they've asked you for money, it's because their life is horrible in prison. And yes, we made the mistakes to get us there. Sometimes. I definitely have met people that I believe to be innocent in prison. That's a whole video too. Just getting ideas from talking to you guys. So if you have been writing an inmate and they've asked you for money, chances are they're just really struggling. Now let's talk about the pen pal scammers that I have seen. So I was friends with somebody in prison. Friends is like a loose term that I like throw around, you know what I mean? Associate. I associated with somebody in prison. I really liked her. She was just chill and laid back and funny, and she was in for drugs too. And you know, we just kind of clicked up one day, but she had been in trouble multiple times for running a pen pal scam. And what she would do is she would take out ads and she would get people to write her, men, and she'd have all of these papers and she'd write like Todd and Greg and Jeff. I don't know how I'm making up these names, but she'd have all of the people that she'd write, and she'd write and send out 5 letters a day or 5 letters a week or whatever it was. Probably a week. Yeah, like 5 letters a week to different people. And a lot of her mail was being rejected because she had previously done time in solitary confinement for running a pen pal scam, which blew my mind that you could be charged and put in solitary confinement for that. But if they figure out that you're running a pen pal scam, you got a bunch of people sending you money and whatever, they'll start reading your mail. So she had done this so often that she was put on a restricted mail list, which means she was flagged. That's just how this prison did it. And every single letter that she got was marked red in the mailroom, and they had to read every single word of this letter. But that was really crappy. So she got caught for a pen pal scam. They put her in solitary confinement for it. Okay, but to flag her letters for the rest of her prison stay, to make sure she's writing people that she actually knows, like, I just feel like that's taking it a little bit too far, you know? Because a lot of people in prison are not writing people they've actually physically met in the free world. So I was upset about that because of her rights. There is a moral side to that where I'm like, girl, you're really scamming all these people. But she wanted to live comfortably in prison, and that's what she felt she had to do. So the moral side of that, I wasn't about that. I wasn't about writing a bunch of people to scam them for money. But that's a whole hustle in there. That is a whole hustle. And a lot of people are willing to pay for romantic letters from inmates. They just are. So I think a lot of the people that she was writing knew, you know, you send me money, I'll send you sexy time letters. I don't know. You know what I'm saying though? A lot of people knew what they were getting when they were writing her. So I didn't really feel that bad because most of the time she was upfront, you know, about what it would be and what the relationship with them would be and whatever. I just felt bad for the people that didn't know that that was her hustle. But from what she told me, everyone knew that that was the gig, right? It bothered me from a legal standpoint that the prison was restricting so much of her mail, you know? So debate about that in the comment section down below. Do you think she should be able to run a hustle like that if she's upfront with these people that she's writing and they know what they're getting and they send her a certain amount of money per month? Do you feel like that should be okay? Or do you feel like the prison should restrict her mail? I feel like I could debate that either way. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If I had to put a number, like a percentage on how many people in prison are running a scam on people on the outside, I would say 50-50. I've seen it both. I've seen people just genuinely have feelings for someone on the outside or genuinely love the friendship and love just getting letters and they ask for nothing but mail. I've seen that. And I've also seen the other side where it's the complete opposite, where the sole intention of this letter is to get money from people on the outside and nothing more. I've seen both. There are so many hustles in prison that I couldn't even begin to name them all. But pen pal scam is definitely a very common thing. So if you're going to write an inmate, this is my personal advice. Just be upfront. I'm writing as your friend, or I want a girlfriend or a boyfriend or whatever, you know, this is my intention. I saw your picture or whatever, and this is what I want. Let them know up front. I am just here to be your friend and to write you mail. I cannot help you financially. If you want to write me, I'm more than happy to write you. Or if you're looking for a romantic relationship, say that. Just be upfront and honest. And that way the inmate doesn't have expectations of you that you're not willing to do. I would say in dealing with anyone to have clear boundaries set and established, and to not feel bad about those boundaries and to not compromise those boundaries. There are plenty of people in prison that I never want to get out, that I don't want next to you, that I don't want next to me. There are inmates that need to be in prison for the rest of their life. I am a huge advocate for prison reform, but I'm also a huge advocate for you guys. I always want to make sure that everyone's okay, and just look out for that. You know, if you start writing somebody and you set clear boundaries with them and you let them know, I'm not willing to help you financially, I'm just here, or I can't help you financially, I just want someone to talk to and I want to make sure you're okay and I just want to be your friend. But they start to push for more, they push for money and they ask you for things and you say no and they get, you know, aggressive in a letter. Exclamation point. Don't write them back. If you feel uncomfortable, do not write someone in prison. If you feel uncomfortable, even after you started talking to somebody in prison, don't do it anymore. Your mental health matters, your peace matters, and protecting yourself matters. So take care of you first. As a former addict and a former inmate, and having dealt with a lot of different people in a lot of different states over the course of my life, I will say that it is very important in any relationship, whether that is family, a prison pen pal, a loved one that's struggling with addiction, to set clear boundaries for yourself. I would also recommend to get a P.O. box if you're going to be writing an inmate, because I've heard horror stories. I also think having a P.O. box just buys you peace of mind, and that shit is priceless. I'm gonna end today's video here. As always, I love you guys. Stay safe, stay sober, whatever that looks like to you, because there's no wrong way to recover. Be careful when you're writing an inmate, and I will see you in my next one.